All right. Hello, everyone. It looks like most of the people have signed in. So we want to thank you for joining us today on the engagement, webinar series. My name is Abigail Banks, and today I'm joined with my colleagues, Mariah Washington and Tony Ann Ruggiero, and we are part of the Community Engagement Unit here at New York City Emergency Management. Today, we welcome FDNY speakers from the Hazmat Operations, Chief Murray and his team member, Lieutenant Cassidy, Supervising Fire Marshal John Orlando, and Captain Kozo and Captain Rocco from the FDNY Community Affairs team to review the topic of lithium-ion batteries. So during today's presentation, we ask that you please use the Q&A section so we can compile some questions at the end of the presentation. And I will now pass it off to Chief Murray to kick us off.
Good morning. This is Deputy Chief Dan Murray. I'm the chief in charge of hazmat operations for the New York City Fire Department. I have 30 years of firefighting experience in New York City, and the proliferation of lithium-ion batteries and the resulting fires has been one of the biggest consequences to our firefighting operations and to our mission of protecting life and property in the city of New York. So lithium-ion batteries have been around for a long time in New York City and around the country. You find them in your phones, laptops, cordless tools like drills, toys, and even hearing aids. So why are we seeing such an increase in major and deadly fires because of e-bikes and e-scooters in New York City? There's a lot of reasons. One of them is the proliferation of cheap, unregulated, unapproved, non-underwriter laboratory devices and batteries. You're going to hear the term underwriter laboratories going forward today. What that is a independent lab. There's other labs that are in the same category that test products that you find that you normally purchase and you find in your home to make sure they're safe. What we're seeing is devices and batteries that don't meet that criteria, and that's causing a lot of problems for us. Also, the use of these devices, which we call micro-mobility devices, on the streets of New York City, exposes them to a greater likelihood of mechanical damage as they're being driven over the rough streets, hitting potholes and curbs, which can cause the batteries to get damaged, and that results in a fire. Also, you have a greater exposure to different types of weather in New York. You have the heat, you have direct exposure to sunlight, you have the cold, you have the snow, and the resulting salt products that are put on the streets can also do damage to the batteries and cause them to fail. And these devices also have a higher energy storage capacity than some of the other devices, such as your phone, which requires more electricity to charge. And when people are using extension cords and power strips that aren't approved, what we can see is the fire might not start with the battery. It could actually start with the cheaper power cords and power strips that aren't designed to carry that much of a load. We also see people tinkering with the batteries and making unauthorized repairs. So we have a couple guests that are going to speak on the subject. Lieutenant Cassidy, he's a lieutenant who works in the Elite Hazmat Company 1, which responds citywide to these types of emergencies. He's also done training and development in regards to the lithium-ion battery issues we've had, and he's done research and outreach to contacts across the globe. We have Supervising Fire Marshal Orlando. What they do with the fire marshals is they do cause and origin after fires. They also have law enforcement powers, and Mr. Orlando has been a instructor about response to lithium-ion battery fires, and he's investigated these types of fires. And we also have Captain Rocco and Kozo from the fire safety education part of the FDNY. They do a lot of public messaging on all types of fire prevention and fire safety to the public, not just on batteries, but all fire prevention matters. So first up, we have Lieutenant John Cassidy. I believe he has a short video to start it off.
Investigators say a lithium-ion battery.
The culprit, lithium-ion batteries. 200 lithium-ion batteries.
FDNY says a lithium-ion battery caused the fire.
The fires related to lithium-ion batteries have been on the rise.
The FDNY says a battery from an electric bike is the cause for Thursday's fatal apartment fire.
Caused by several exploding batteries on e-bikes.
It was one of 4 fires started by e-bikes in a single day.
One man is dead and a woman is clinging to life.
There were numerous lithium-ion batteries in occupancy.
This is the 3rd death this year.
We're now learning what caused that fire, and the FDNY says it's an alarming trend.
This fire was caused by lithium-ion batteries.
As more people get these e-bikes with these lithium-ion batteries, they do expect that these cases will continue to rise.
In the first 4 months of 2022, the FDNY reported a 233% increase.
Scores of fires in New York City, and all of them caused by lithium-ion batteries.
126 fires, 74 injuries, and 5 deaths just this year, including a 36-year-old woman and a 5-year-old child.
Last year, officials say there were more than 100 similar fires with 79 injuries and 4 deaths.
Lithium-ion batteries are known for malfunctioning, but this?
A raging high-rise fire in the East Village that left 1 person dead and sent teenagers climbing out of the window.
Firefighters desperately rescued several families.
Flames shot from the roof of the building.
The fire reached 2 alarms before it was under control.
Investigators say this was started by an e-bike.
New York City Fire Department has been sounding the warning for a long time about this.
So good morning. That video is what we utilized when we started to educate other first responders in responding to these emergencies. It's to highlight the seriousness and some of the events that we're seeing in FDNY right now. And the importance of community education and engagement. So little bit of eye opener, but our other guests are going to give us some good safety tips on how the community can help us keep everybody safe. So I'll kick it over to John Orlando.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Thank you everyone for joining us today. I have a short presentation that I'd like to share with everyone, going over some of these, an investigative view into lithium-ion battery fires. So let me just get that up for you. Okay. So yes, my name is Supervising Fire Marshal John Orlando with the New York City Fire Department. I work with the Bureau of Fire Investigation. I have about 14 years in the Bureau of Fire Investigation, and prior to I had 12 years as a firefighter. So let me just start with who are the FDNY fire marshals. Like I said, we work within the New York City Fire Department. We have law enforcement powers, as Chief Murray mentioned. So we investigate the origin and cause of fires and how fires in general have started. So in my experience, when we started talking about this and we had a symposium back in September, I went back and thought, when did I see my first lithium-ion battery type fire that I could recall? So we go back to June 21st of 2013. There was a Brooklyn, New York location. It was an e-bike store. And for those of you watching, if you see, these were the first types that we could recall of an e-mobility device that we started seeing on the streets. Just a bike, a regular bicycle that they added a motor to, or some came already with the motor attached. The fire was located in this showroom of this e-bike store in the rear. There was a charging station in the rear of the showroom. There were 2 chargers on the table, and the batteries were left charging overnight. And we had talked to the employees, and they had said that they noticed that the batteries would get hot when they were in the charger. But one of their procedures was, before they closed up for the night, they would check all the bikes to see which batteries needed a charge, and then they would charge put those batteries into the charger and charge them overnight. And eventually, one day they had a fire in this store, and they had also had the batteries on a metal frame plastic tabletop with a lot of cardboard and paper stored near the chargers.
Excuse me, John, sorry to interrupt. Could we just switch that display setting really quick so that we can see the full view of the presentation?
Okay, let me display. I'm sorry, I didn't see that.
No, not to worry. We just want to make sure everyone can see it. There we go. Thank you so much.
Okay. So yes, I apologize. So yes, do you need me to go back, or you think we're okay?
I think we're okay.
So yeah, so in the fire debris, when we went through the fire, we saw that there were a bunch of different types of batteries found in that area. So again, based on the interviews and our physical examination of the fire scene, we determined it to be either the charger with the batteries getting hot overnight, and plus they had it stored near combustible materials. So this is the first fire back in 2013 that I could recall. And then we started to see a few more. So how have they progressed? If we go to, I then became a supervisor in 2016, and in May 8th of 2019 in New York City, in a 10-story large office building, there was a fire on the 4th floor. So I'll take you up there. It was an office building. It wasn't a WeWork building, but it was one of those shared type office spaces with different people renting multiple different rooms, and they shared like a conference room, the lobby, and so on and so forth. It was arranged in a rectangular shape. The room of origin was office number 14. And this is what we found in the area of origin, right? So this was a small office. Somebody was having a meeting with a client, and they had brought in a unicycle. And while they started their meeting, the unicycle burst into flames. So upon closer inspection, we could see some markings. You can see the lithium-ion batteries here, and then we could see this little marking KS. So we said, all right, maybe we could identify what this product is. So we had taken it from the scene, and based on previous fires, and we had started to see an increase in fires at this point, we decided to send this product, because we had also a good firsthand interview saying that there wasn't charging, it was just sitting there next to the couch, and it just it just made some noises, popped, and burst into flames. So we sent this to the CPSC, Consumer Product Safety Commission. So that was in 2019. They had taken the product and they had tested it. And then in July of last year, in 2022, they had issued a recall on this product. So even though they issued the recalls, I'll show you in a minute what happened. This is something that we could do. So what can we do? So we investigate the fire, how it started. If we find out that it's an e-bike mobility device, or an e-bike or e-scooter, or something of that nature, and we can identify, if we could identify the product that it was, we will send it out to something like the Consumer Product Safety Commission to research to see if it is a dangerous product. So we did that. They made a recall, and then if you read the bottom here, this is the press release of the recall. If you read the bottom here, Kingsong and eWales refused to recall the product. So we, but that's, again, that's what we did. We sent it to the appropriate federal agency, and we sent it to the appropriate federal agency, and we did what we had to do, and they did what they had to do. But unfortunately, at this time, Kingsong and eWales refused to recall the product. So again, but we're going to keep doing that in the Marshal Service. We're going to, if we can identify products, we will send them out for research, and that comes with also having good interviews from the occupants that are involved in the fire, and possibly the occupants or the owners of these types of mobility devices telling us what products they are. But I'm just going to say, how big is this problem? So I'll give you this little video. So you see some of the points here. We're going to get into that right after in a few moments. But FDNY Smart put out a great list here of some recommendations, which they're going to talk about shortly. And let me just go. So this is our latest statistics. So we really started having a better tracking system in 21 when we started the end of 21. So you could see the numbers. We went back and went through our files in 2019, 2020, 2021, the number of investigations that were lithium-ion battery related. And so far in 2023, as of early this week, we have 6 fires and 1 injury. 3 of them were inside buildings, structural fires. 3 of them weren't. So this is a growing problem that we're seeing. And like I said, we're going to continue to investigate. This challenges our resources for the city. Hazmat has called to the scene and tries to repack these safely, so they're not just left outside in the garbage or left in the apartment. Sanitation or DEP has to be called to remove it. It challenges the fire suppression, fire investigation, securing scenes, hazmat logistics, cleanup, removal, storage, disposal. And like I said, these fires are increasing. Where do we go from here? It's what we're doing today. Increase public awareness, ad campaigns, social media, fire prevention, fire safety education, FDNY Foundation. So I thank you again for joining our seminar today, a webinar, and I'll send it over to back to you, Abigail and Chief Murray.
Okay, I'm not sure if Chief Murray could get off mute, but
Okay, yeah.
oh, there we go.
All right, yes, great presentation by Supervising Fire Marshal Orlando. Next up, we have Captains Kozos and Rocco, who are going to basically explain how we can more safely use, store, and charge these types of devices. So there's some good tips in here, and onto those 2 gentlemen.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Captain Jerry Rocco with Fire Safety Education. I have Mike Kozo, Captain Mike Kozo by my side. This unit is out of Fort Totten, Queens. We go throughout the city 7 days, 7 nights a week to your event, your church, your Cub Scout meeting, your tenants association, wherever there's a group of people will be. to explain the do's and the don'ts. And being out there, I find a lot of people have a general awareness of the issue, and you could see this is an issue. But we need more PSAs out there. We need some commercials. We need to show them what an explosion looks like. Okay, a lot of people are not aware of that. A lot of people, they have the general awareness. They want some more laws. Laws are great, but laws are broken all the time. Just because you have a law that says you're not going to be able to have that scooter in your building does not mean there's not going to be scooters in that building. We know that. So we have to have the public take care of themselves a little bit. You know, we have to have that co-op association, have codes, enforce those codes, make the phone call. You know, we have to look out for each other. And sometimes people are afraid to do that. They don't want to get involved, but they have to get involved. They have to know and let other people know the seriousness of these explosions. Lithium batteries, it's going to be more and more of a problem. More and more products are powered by lithium batteries. We have cordless tools, we have cordless lawnmowers now, cordless vacuums. These batteries are all over. These devices are getting older, and it's going to be a bigger issue. It's going to get worse before it gets better, I'm afraid. Hopefully I'm wrong with that. You know, when we go to these events, we encourage people, never ever charge anything, something as simple as your cell phone. Do we have cell phone fires? Not very often, but it is a possibility. It does happen. You know, and a big problem is people are using damaged cords, damaged charges, or in most cases, inferior charges, inferior cords. They're not going back to Verizon to spend $30 on a charger. So they go to the guy in the corner and get one for $5. You know, could it be an issue? A lot of times it is. So what we do is we encourage people, if you see something, say something. If you see that scooter in the hallway, you know, let management know. Call a super. You have to say something. As far as charging products, whether it be your cell phone, your laptop, anything, especially the scooters, but just anything with a battery, do not charge them when you are sleeping. Do not charge them when you are not home. All right. If this thing starts burning, if it starts melting, you're sleeping. When you go to sleep, your nose goes to sleep. You're not going to smell it burning, right? Of course, you're not going to see it burning. You have to charge these things before you go to bed. Charge these things before you leave the house. Do not ever charge them when you are not home. Just not a good idea. Our thing is more so the prevention, right? We talk about the 3 Ps. We talk about prevention. We talk about having a plan and practicing that plan. Okay, you have to have a plan for every place you're at. You're home, of course, but you go visit your mom. You send your kids to your mom's for the weekend. You always have to have a plan. Always have to have 2 ways out. Okay, fires can be prevented, and sometimes we can't. We never know what our neighbor's doing. Your place may be up to par, in good shape. Next door, you have somebody with an e-bike that's charging a battery. I just found out, I believe there was an e-bike fire this morning in Brooklyn. I believe it was a bike shop for the e-bikes, and they had a fire. I believe it may have been Bay Ridge. I'm not quite sure about that. But once again, it's going to get worse before it gets better. So we want to get out there. We want to inform people, let them know what to do, what not to do. Once again, they have to speak up. They see a problem. We cannot police the whole city. It's too big. They have to police themselves a little bit. We want to get out to these tenants meetings. Let the boards know you have to put the codes in place. You have to enforce them. That's a big thing for us. And more so than anything, once again, we cannot prevent every fire. We can be prepared. Try to be prepared. Have that plan. Practice that plan, especially if you have the little ones. We have to keep the little ones safe, keep each other safe. So
some of the tips that I'm going to share with you, this is Captain Kozo. Some of the tips I'm going to share with you are the tips and videos that we do have posted out on social media, as well as our FDNY Smart website. So let me share the screen real quick. One of the videos we have here is up on our social media pages.
Be FDNY Smart when using any device powered by lithium-ion batteries. Do not store your bike or scooter near your doors or windows, blocking your exits in case of fire. Do not leave devices unattended when charging, or charge them overnight. Only purchase and use devices that are listed by a qualified testing laboratory, such as UL. Do not charge a device under your pillow, on your bed, or on a couch. Only use the manufacturer's power cords or batteries made specifically for the device. Keep batteries or devices at room temperature and away from direct sunlight and anything flammable. If a battery overheats or you notice an odor, change in shape or color, leaking, or odd noises from a device, discontinue use immediately. Putting lithium-ion batteries in the trash or recycling is illegal and dangerous. Take them to a battery recycling location or visit nyc.gov/batteries for proper disposal instructions.
So that is one of the videos we have. On here is our FDNY Smart website. So if you go to the Smart link right there, right on the home page of the Smart section is a video on lithium-ion batteries, which I will put on now. Hi everyone. My name is Captain Michael Kozo with the FDNY Fire Safety Education Unit. Within recent years, there has been an increase in serious fires that have resulted from the improper storage, charging, and disposal of rechargeable and lithium-ion batteries or devices that use them. Through this video, you will receive safety tips that will help raise awareness of the safe ways to charge, store, and dispose of rechargeable and lithium-ion batteries or the devices powered by them. These safety tips will help in making your home FDNY smart. Are you ready? Let's begin. Rechargeable and lithium-ion batteries are commonly found in cordless power tools, cordless vacuums, laptops, cell phones, cameras, electric bicycles, and electric scooters, to name a few. Rechargeable and lithium-ion batteries store a large amount of energy and pose a threat if not treated properly. They can overheat, catch fire, or even explode. Be FDNY smart when using any device powered by a rechargeable and lithium-ion battery. Remember the following. Purchase and use devices that are listed by a qualified testing laboratory. Follow the manufacturer's instructions for charging and storage. Do not charge a device under your pillow, on your bed, or on a couch. Always use the manufacturer's cord and power adapter made specifically for the device. Keep batteries and devices at room temperature. Do not place them in direct sunlight. Store batteries away from anything flammable. If a battery overheats or you notice an odor, change in shape or color, leaking, or odd noises, stop using immediately. If safe to do so, move the device away from anything that can catch fire and call 911. Batteries must be removed and disposed of properly. When disposing of rechargeable and lithium-ion batteries, remember the following. It is illegal to discard all rechargeable and lithium-ion batteries in the trash or recycling. Batteries for disposal should be taken to a battery recycling location. For more information on battery disposal, visit nyc.gov/batteries for disposal instructions and locations. Thank you for viewing this educational video. This material will assist in making your home FDNY smart. Please continue to stay connected and learn more safety tips through fdnysmart.org. And remember, be FDNY smart when using rechargeable and lithium-ion batteries and devices that use them. So that is one of the videos that we have on our website. And if you scroll down a little bit on the website, you'll see the literature that we have. And this literature is downloadable and printable in the languages listed here. So all you would do is click on it. It is a PDF version, and we are encouraging people to visit the website, print these pieces of literature out and pass them out in their buildings. We ourselves are handing these pieces of literature out constantly. So this has all of the tips that were gone over in that video are all on this safety sheet as well. So those are some of the things that we are passing out to the public in regards to lithium-ion battery safety, proper storage, usage, and disposal.
All right, thank you so much, everyone, for that information. I'm going to kick it over to Mariah so she can read off some of the questions so we can begin the Q&A portion. A reminder, if you do have a question, please throw it in that Q&A chat so that we can make sure we get all of them answered.
Thank you, Abby. So one of our first questions that one of our participants put is overcharging a concern, or is it more of these batteries getting hot due to the overcharging and then the danger that comes from the external area around the battery that may catch fire?
So this is John Cassidy. There's multiple factors that can lead to battery failure. There is something called a battery management system. And there's different designs. So something like your cell phone, if new cell phones, they'll turn around, they'll tell you it's charged to 80% and it'll take 3 hours to get to the last 20%. Those are all designed for the battery health. Some of these devices don't have as robust of battery management systems. And this is why our tips are not to charge these batteries when they're unattended, not to block primary means of egress with these devices. Certainly, you should not be charging them where they can generate heat. I think of my own children when I've gone into their rooms and found their cell phones charging under their pillows. That's a major concern that every parent should be looking for with their children. So heat is a problem, but it's not really one specific thing that's causing that heat.
Thank you for that clarity. Another question that came in is there anything in writing preventing lithium batteries being used in hospitals and/or office buildings?
So again, this is a broad spectrum of types of batteries. Every person's walking around with a lithium-ion battery in their pocket in their cell phone. So when we talk about rechargeable batteries in the healthcare setting, you're going to see these in a lot of different appliances, which could be perfectly fine. I wouldn't recommend allowing mobility devices like scooters and e-bikes to be brought into the healthcare setting, but you will see these in IV pumps and other medical devices, which they're not subjected to the same temperature extremes and mechanical abuse like scooters and e-bikes are. So not specifically forbidding them into hospitals. We have a fire prevention. So if we're talking about installations for like battery backup storage systems, then you would need CFF and to engage with fire prevention for permits and approvals.
Yeah, if I could add on to that, there's also certain buildings, facilities, and other places in New York City have taken it upon themselves to come up with their own rules. I was told Fordham University decided that they didn't want any of these e-mobility, micro-mobility devices in the student dormitories. Even at FDNY headquarters in Brooklyn, we don't allow e-bikes and e-scooters into the building. So that's something you have to look out for, and that's done by the own buildings enforcement.
Thank you. Someone asked a very specific question. Is the Fire Department of New York City considering or preparing a certificate of fitness for batteries? Is that underway, or is the COF as is?
So certificate of fitnesses are required for certain types of installations. So if you were If you were an office building and you wanted to put a battery backup system, that certainly would require a certificate of fitness. So any certificate of fitness type questions should be directed to the New York City Fire Department's Fire Prevention Unit.
Okay, thank you. And this ties into kind of the question that we asked a couple of minutes ago. Motorized wheelchairs use lithium batteries. These wheelchairs are very expensive. Does the Fire Department of New York foresee or currently under discussions of any battery restrictions or standards that would concern wheelchair users?
So with healthcare devices, because they're very expensive, they're usually of high quality. So our guidance is that anytime you have a device, if you have to replace the battery or you have to replace the charging cord, is that you go to the original manufacturer to get the device that's specified for that piece of equipment. If the battery needed to be replaced and you went on a site like Alibaba or eBay or Amazon, you may not be getting all the safety standards built in there. So certainly we haven't seen a large problem with healthcare devices, but those tips of replacing it with OEM equipment are good advice in that area.
Thank you. Someone anonymously was asking, what can we do if our building management does not do anything to remove the bike or scooters from the hallways or apartments that we live in?
I'd recommend that you call 411 and seek further guidance in that area, and they'll contact the fire department.
Thank you for that. Okay, yes. Can a requirement or a local law for the sale and use of Li-ion batteries in mobility vehicles be possible in New York City?
So currently the city council is discussing these items, and there are a number of bills that are proposed. I don't have them all memorized. I'm sure you can go on the city council website to look at the proposed legislation that they have for local laws. I do know that one of them is depending on secondhand batteries being not permitted for sale, or remanufactured batteries not permitted to be sold. But you can go on the city council website and probably see the pending legislation in that area.
Thank you so much. Those are the questions that we got in. We also did receive some contact information from a hospital police officer who would like to ask you all some questions. And so I'll share that with you all after this webinar.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Also, I'd like to correct what I said. It's 311 is the number to dial, not 411.
All right, and it looks like there are no more questions in the Q&A section. So we again want to thank you all today for joining us. We encourage you to subscribe to the Community Preparedness newsletter for weekly updates. Follow our social media channels on NYC Emergency Management to receive more information about preparedness initiatives, resources, and events like this one. If you missed some of the presentation or would like to share it, it will be on our YouTube channel later today or early tomorrow. We thank you again for joining us, and we hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks.